Okay, this is probably the last video for a while. I think between what I've told you in these videos and what you can get from the lab, everything should pretty much be covered. There's a section where I think you add a column using alter. Just remember that the alter table, add column, there's all kinds of different things when you alter, is data definition language. That's opposed from DML and just like simple query language like we've been using. These selects are query, they're just queries. They don't change any of your data. If you update, I need to show you update. I'll squeeze that in here. Updates DML, inserts DML. Those are data manipulation language because you're actually changing the data. Delete from, that's DML because you're deleting data. Alter table, drop column, that's DDL because you're changing, you're getting rid of a column. Alright, so the reason I wanted to start this video is because I wanted to talk about this one thing. I think it's covered in your book, but I wanted you to see it, just have me tell you about it a little bit because I want to give my view on it. So if I just select every description in this product table, this is what I get. If I add this where clause, actually, what was the last thing? Where, I think some of the things didn't have a vendor, is what it was. So if I want to see which ones don't have a vendor, I could try this. This doesn't give you an answer because null is not a value and you can't set an equality to it. You have to use a little bit different syntax on it, and you have to use is. I think this, yeah, so you have to use is because even that arguably is not correct because is and equals are sort of the same kind of thing in a way, but there is a distinction. So what you're saying is that there is just no value there. If you say vcode equals null, you're saying that you're implying that it has a value like 0 or something, but that's not what it is. It's just not a value at all. It's kind of like, nothing's not a thing. Like, what's beyond the edge of the universe? Nothing. But what does it look? There's nothing. You can't describe it. So it's the same sort of thing. Null basically means nothing, right? Nihil, I think, from Latin means nothing. So, like a nihilist. So you use is instead of equals. And what this is telling you in this particular instance, and this will only happen if you allow nulls in your data. Obviously, primary key can't be null, but maybe some of your other fields are. In this case, we're saying the vendor can be null, which means I don't have a vendor yet. Maybe I don't know. Here's a product I know I need, but I haven't found the vendor. That might be the scenario. There's different reasons why you might allow nulls, but if you do allow nulls, this is how you work with it. You have to, for the where clause, you have to say where it is null. And what you're saying is, this particular query answers the question, which of my products that I have in my database that don't have vendors. This is something that also comes up here. Let's see if I can go back real quick to it, because you can't do this with the old style. Instead of an inner join, something called an outer join. Try to think of what I want to do here. Okay, we've had to edit because I had to refine my thinking on that query. So when we left off, I was talking about null. It's important in joins because of this thing, because of how nulls work. It's kind of hard to explain what I mean by it, but I'm going to try to demonstrate it to you. So the inner join works by checking to see when the vcode's equal to the of 1 is in this particular instance of these two tables. The foreign key is vcode, the primary key is vcode of the other table. Where they're equal, it's going to give you results. But if you look at the product table, I have to go back and redo that query from the beginning. I want you to see the whole table. I want you to see the whole table. So let's just do star real quick. Bear with me here. Okay. Run it! So you'll notice that Some of these don't have V code. That was the whole point of where it's equal, where it is null, not equal to null, but where it is null. We're showing that some of them don't have vendors. So they don't have vendors. They're not going to show up when we do an inner join or a natural join or whatever. They're just not going to show up. What if we want to see all the products but see who the vendors are? So here's our criteria for this particular query I'm doing right now. The scenario is I want to see all my products and I want to see all the vendors of my products. Both of those things. Like I want to see every single product, but I also want to see who the vendor is. This doesn't show what I just said because like we said, some of the vendors over here are null and they don't have vendors. So if you want to do that first part of the criteria, that you must see every product, you have to use something called an outer join. So the direction matters on this. It's the direction of the table. So left outer join means, notice, if you might have noticed from one before, I changed the order from vendor to product, and then vendor was on the left before, now it's on products on the left because of this outer join. I could have also just done right outer join, that would have worked too, but I think left outer joins we read left to right, so they're a little easier to understand. But what this will do is it will show you all the related tables where the V code's equal to the V code, foreign key is equal to the primary key, but it will also show you everything in the left table, in this case the product table. Every one of these things will appear at least once. So if it doesn't have a match on the primary key, it'll still appear. Let me run it and show you. We went from, I think it was, 11 to 14. It must have been 12 because we got 2 nulls. Anyway, it'll show nulls for the vendors because the name's not, it's going to be null because I'm printing out the name, but also the V code's null, right? Because in the product table, it doesn't have, in other words, there's not a match. So when there's not a match and you're using an outer join, there's not a match on the right for the thing on the left, then it will show the thing on the left once, and then a null for the other thing that you're looking for. And like I was saying before, let me put it back the way it was. See how I flipped these tables to make it work. I could have also just as easily done this, but I always think straight. Right outer join, it's just the direction, so I should get the same results. Notice the column order doesn't change. It's whatever I say it is. But the logic still worked because it's saying that everything in the right table appears just once, at least once. And then if there's not a match on the vendor side of it, you get a null. There's another kind of join. You have right, you have left. Again, the direction matters. It's in relation to how you list the tables. But there's also something called a full outer join. And that's when, say, you have vendors. Say you have vendors that don't have any products, which it looks like we do. That's what we have here. So Dome Supply, if you look at the product table, there won't be a. Well, it's kind of hard to see. We have to see who Dome Supply is. Dome Supply is it Dome? Yeah, Dome. 22567. What this is showing me is that there's no 22657 over here in this column. And there isn't. So the scenario here is I want to see every single damn product and I want to see every damn vendor. I don't care whether they actually appear in each other's tables or not. And so that's what this shows. This shows every vendor at least once, even though it doesn't supply any products yet. But it also shows every product, even though they don't have a vendor. Everything else, you notice that Randsets appears twice, Ordva appears twice, some of these appear once, Ordva appears 3 times actually. That's because the V codes are the same for like those 3 things between the 2 tables. And again, the outer joints, I don't know if you actually cover it in the book, but I want to cover it for you because it's related to nulls. I think that's enough for now.